right then. Well, good evening and welcome to a meeting of the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee. This evening, we're getting together primarily to get a further report from the project owners, management, hear from the representative of the committee from the school committee, and then take a formal final vote on the question of the committee's recommendation for the preferred scheme. Should really have a word other than scheme. Okay, Paul, we had asked you to further evaluate and provide the committee information regarding current costing trends.
Yeah, so last night we had this rather large chart, and we were focusing on the extreme right-hand end. So I passed out to you an 11 by 17 sheet. On the left-hand side is that extreme right-hand end, right-hand side, and the vertical axis of this chart comes from the MSBA data. It's construction cost per square foot, and across the bottom, on the horizontal axis, we have bid dates, and we have three different types of symbols. We have an orange square, which is an actual bid. We have a blue square, that's a schematic design estimate of construction costs. These are all construction costs expressed in terms of dollars per square foot. And we have PSR, Preferred Schematic Report estimates, and that's the phase we're in now, our estimate. And so there's a whole lot of data points for all the different estimates and bids that the MSBA has, but I just was asked to look at similar projects, so I put numbers against these various symbols, 1 through 15, that are all elementary schools. And that information is shown on the chart on the right-hand side of this sheet. And we have 13 elementary schools, plus number 3 and number 6 are the Shrewsbury Beal School at the Glavin site. One of them is, both of them are option A. One is with the design bid build method at $496 per square foot. The other one is the same option delivered through the CM at risk method at $526 per square foot. So you can see how both graphically and on tabular format how our current estimates lines up with other projects that are being reviewed by MSBA, other elementary school projects. These are actual, as we go across this horizontal axis, we go as far back as July 2017. And so I haven't made any adjustments. These are the actual numbers. So the oldest ones, naturally, over time, you probably couldn't get the bids to come out the same as they are now, but I haven't made any adjustments. These are the actual dollars per square foot value on the right-hand table that I have here. I've also filled out where I had the information available on the MSBA website. I was able to put down the square foot of the building, whether it was new, and the project delivery method, and the enrollment, and the architect, and the bid date. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to gather all the information readily through the website, but between now and the next meeting, I'll fill in any blank cells there.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions, comments? So hopefully for Monday night at 6 o'clock, our next meeting, you can fill in some of these. I did ask, because Monday night we'll be focusing on the options for engagement, if Paul could find the method of engagement for the remaining ones. You'll see most of them seem to be doing it under the traditional 149, but without knowing more about the projects, it's difficult to make some type of an assessment. What was that, Katie?
That is interesting, the number of the, I was just
No, it's fine.
out loud, but the design bid build.
Any questions? Comments? No? Okay. Paul, if you could seek to fill these in for Monday, I'd appreciate it. What's a ECC school, number 14, Dedham ECC?
Early Childhood Center.
Oh, okay, very good. So they chose to go that direct route. But it's classified as an elementary school? Or classified as an early child? Do they have a different template?
It's a K-1. Didn't you reference it, Mr. Girardi? I thought that was the one in Dedham you had referred, or what was the one you were referring to
There
previously?
was one in Hopkinton.
Hopkins.
That's
That's
currently
what it
being
was. Okay. Typically, when they refer to it that way, it is K to 1,
Okay.
or pre-K to 1.
Yeah, not a particularly big deal. God bless you. All right, if there aren't any other questions, Sandy, would you like to report the outcome of your meeting?
Last night, the school committee looked at all of the available sites, and the unanimous decision was the Glavin site, the L-wing version of that. Discussion centered around educational program, the fit of the building on that campus, as well as long-term value to the community going forward. So it was a unanimous decision on that.
Okay. Any questions? If there aren't any further questions or comments, then I think it's appropriate to ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Today I did have an opportunity to meet with a handful of members from the Beal staff.
Yeah.
And just went over the two options as it did narrow down. And it was pretty unanimous that the L-wing model was a model that was preferred by the staff, just as a matter of point.
Joe, anything to add?
No, again, I think the points that you made last night, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Masiello were spot on in terms of the contrast between the two sites, and I concur with the feedback from the school committee and from the school administration that the option A at Glavin with the L-shaped design is the greatest value for the community and for the school district going forward.
Very good. In that case, would someone like to make a motion regarding the recommendation of the building committee to go with the Glavin Center site option A, L-wing option?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor shall signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we're unanimous. If there isn't anything else to come before the committee this evening, then we will accept the motion to adjourn.
Before you adjourn, I just want,
Yes, Paul.
since I've been in the habit of receiving homework assignments,
Yes.
with respect to the next meeting, when you want to talk about construction management at risk, I know there'll be, I'll fill in the blanks here,
Yep.
but are there any other, we've had a presentation on CM at risk, are there other nuances or finer points or
you
things
know
you'd like
what?
to investigate?
Well, any thoughts? What I'd like you to do is just scan off again to Kevin's office what you previously sent, so that over this weekend, we could take advantage of just refreshing ourselves on those matters, to the extent people haven't kept a complete file of everything that has been forwarded.
Would,
Yes?
I don't know if there'd be any value or if this is even possible, but since we're seeing all these design bid builds on this list, and given that I would consider us at the height of an economic bell curve, would it be possible to go back to the last one and see if, do they have design bid build data and CM at risk data, to see if people were pushing it that way just because of the lower upfront cost? I don't know if it's, I mean, I know it's could
You
be
mean back to Sherwood?
No, not necessarily Sherwood, but say, when the last peak of an, an economic cycle was,
Oh, I thought you were looking for the down. I'm
we're,
sorry.
I'm looking for the, well, I mean, I guess the down could show us as well. If prices were cheaper, do you go with CM at risk? If prices are higher, are people trending towards design bid build, just to, I don't know.
That's an interesting point. I tend to think during Sherwood's period, where you were at the bottom of a
Yeah.
construction market, and many guys were just working for cash flow, you might take advantage of this
Right.
new way of doing it. At the same point, if you're doing what was considered a straightforward project, you probably would stick with the more traditional.
Wasn't there a high reimbursement for CM at risk?
Yes.
back
There was
then?
earlier.
Yes, they allowed extra.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was just conferring with Katie on is CM at risk really was just hitting the market as a
Yeah.
delivery method when we did Sherwood. So there really hasn't been another high point.
Yeah.
It's really, it came in at a low point, so.
But the other thing I will look at, this is elementary schools. There's all these other symbols that I don't have numbers against. There's high schools, middle schools, so that maybe there's, I'll review just the frequency of CM at risk used on MSBA projects in general, and see if there's anything that's telling on that.
All right?
And then just one other thing, we're gonna be sending out a link like we did last time for the draft PDP for you guys to review, because we're gonna be looking for a vote on Monday.
If you think there's anything particularly unique, please direct us to make sure we go to those sections.
Yeah, it's not gonna be anything you haven't seen, it's really kind of formalizing it in the manner that MSBA is looking to see it characterized, but
Right.
it's everything we've been showing you to date. There's gonna be some pedestrian, maybe circulation paths that you haven't seen before that we need to show to satisfy MSBA, but the overall schemes, floor plans, site circulation, that's all gonna be exactly how you have seen it, just in a slightly different format, so.
Okay, do folks want to see anything in the way of presentations for Monday, or are we pretty comfortable?
I think Monday will be more of a debate of the delivery method than.
It could be, yeah. I just want to make sure if anybody wants anything, we generally like to not give them more than 12 hours to prepare something. So you're gonna spoil them at this point. And the other thing I would, whatever votes, if there's language needed, please send that earlier than later, so that, because Kevin has to get this agenda out ASAP for the open meeting law for Monday night, if he hasn't already. So,
We need to do that if
Yeah.
it hasn't been posted, because we're at the limit right now.
yeah, we're
Okay.
pretty careful right now. We may be meeting at 6:15,
Yes,
6:30 actually, on Monday night, actually.
looks like it.
Yeah, we'll be meeting at 6:30 on Monday, not 6. And then we'll also ask Val to publish that never-ending series of meetings and so forth, so that we're all square with where we are through the summer.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah,
Mr. Chair, just based on the
Yes.
conversation we had, just in terms of dates, so I'm clear in terms of expectations. So on the 30th, I know next Monday, the plan is to vote on the PSR, correct? And then, are we looking to vote on Monday on the delivery method, or was that going to be at the May 8th meeting? That expectation?
you need it by the end of May, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think we can flesh it out
Okay,
to the extent people are other issues, and then we can if people want to vote that night, we can. If people think they need more time, we can take more time.
understood.
Yes, we are back in May 8th, and there's plenty of time.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, if there's nothing, well, we've already adjourned, so we can re-adjourn.
Not yet.
We have not.
We have not adjourned.
Very good, John, I was just seeing if you were following me. Yes, Mr. Queenie was, yes, that's correct. Okay, in that case, we will take accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor shall signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we're unanimous, we're adjourned.